9350, unless otherwise authorized. When is the pilot in command required to hold a type rating? A. When operating an aircraft that is certificated for more than one pilot. B. When operating an aircraft having a gross weight of more than 12,500 pounds. C. When operating a multi-engine aircraft having a gross weight of more than 6,000 pounds. The correct answer is B. The reason is that according to Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, regulations in the United States, pilots are required to hold a type rating when operating an aircraft with a gross weight of more than 12,500 pounds, unless otherwise authorized. A type rating is a specific certification granted by the FAA for a particular aircraft type, indicating that the pilot has received additional training and demonstrated proficiency in operating that specific aircraft. This requirement helps ensure that pilots have the necessary knowledge and skills to safely operate larger aircraft. 9350-1. According to 14 CFR Part 121, what requirements must the second-in-command possess? A. ADP certificate with appropriate type rating. B. ADP certificate with appropriate second-in-command type rating. C. ADP certificate and third-class medical certificate. The correct answer is A. According to 14 CFR Part 121, the requirements for the second-in-command, SCC, in a Part 121 operation include holding an Airline Transport Pilot, ADP, certificate with an appropriate type rating. The ADP certificate signifies the highest level of pilot certification and is a prerequisite for serving as a second-in-command in this context. In addition to the ADP certificate, the SIC must also hold a type rating for the specific aircraft they will be operating. The type rating indicates that the SIC has received specific training and demonstrated proficiency in operating that particular aircraft type. 9328. A commercial pilot has a type rating in AB 727 and B 737. A flight test is completed in AB 747 for the Airline Transport Pilot certificate. What pilot privileges may be exercised regarding these airplanes? A. Commercial. B. 737, ADP. B. 727 and B. 747. B. ADP. B. 747. Commercial. B. 727 and B. 737. C. ADP. B. 747. B. 727 and B. 737. The correct answer is C. Based on the given information, the pilot has a type rating in AB 727 and B 737, and they have completed a flight test in AB 747 for the Airline Transport Pilot, ADP, certificate. With these qualifications, the pilot is eligible to exercise pilot privileges for all three aircraft types. The ADP certificate is the highest level of pilot certification and allows the holder to act as the pilot in command, PIC, of large, multi-engine aircraft in commercial operations. In this case, the pilot has obtained the ADP rating for the B-747, B-727, and B-737, indicating that they have met the necessary training, experience, and proficiency requirements to operate these aircraft as PIC. 9329. A commercial pilot has DC-3 and DC-9 type ratings. A flight test is completed for an Airline Transport Pilot certificate in AB 727. What pilot privileges may be exercised? A. ADP, B. 727 and DC-3. Commercial, DC-9. B. ADP, B. 727 only. Commercial, DC-9 and DC-3. C. ADP, B. 727, DC-3, and DC-9. The correct answer is C. To determine the pilot privileges that may be exercised, we need to consider the type ratings held by the commercial pilot and the completion of the flight test for an Airline Transport Pilot, ATP, certificate in AB 727. The information provided states that the commercial pilot has type ratings in DC-3 and DC-9 aircraft. This means that the pilot has received specific training and demonstrated proficiency in operating these particular aircraft types. With these type ratings, the pilot is authorized to act as the pilot in command, PIC, of DC-3 and DC-9 aircraft in commercial operations. Additionally, the pilot has completed a flight test for an ATP certificate in AB 727. The ATP certificate is the highest level of pilot certification and allows the holder to act as PIC of large, multi-engine aircraft in commercial operations. By successfully completing the flight test in AB 727, the pilot has demonstrated the necessary knowledge, skills, and experience to operate this type of aircraft at the ATP level. Based on the above information, we can conclude that the pilot is eligible to exercise pilot privileges for the B-727, DC-3, and DC-9 aircraft. Therefore, the correct answer is C, stating that the pilot may exercise ATP privileges for the B-727, DC-3, and DC-9. It's important for pilots to hold the appropriate type ratings and certificates for the aircraft they intend to operate. These qualifications ensure that pilots have received the necessary training and have met the standards set by regulatory authorities to safely and proficiently operate specific aircraft types. 9329-1. The lowest CAT2 minimums are A. DH100 and RVR 1200. B. DH150 and RVR 1600. C. DH50 and RVR 1200. The correct answer is B. CAT2, Category 2, refers to a specific instrument approach and landing minimums for aircraft. The minimums are defined in terms of decision height, DH, and runway visual range, RVR. For CAT2 operations, the lowest minimums are typically DH150 and RVR 1600. This means that the aircraft can descend to a decision height of 150 feet above the runway before making a decision to continue the approach or execute a missed approach. The runway visibility must be at least 1,600 feet as measured by the Runway Visual Range equipment.